I guess it is time somebody to say the truth about the real estate, right? Why, for example, I always rent, even though I can actually buy where I live, but I don't want to. Why? Very easily, I'm gonna simplify the mechanics and the numbers behind this. Once when you understand the math behind it, it will change your overview about owning any residential real estate. Let me ask you this. Would you rather spend $600,000 and live in 10 years in the same apartment and invest $400,000 on the side in crypto or stock market, or you rather buy $1 million apartment right now? It's a very interesting question, which I believe a lot of people, the smarter ones, will spend a lot of time analyzing, trying to debate in their own mind which decision will be better for them. Some people will think that investment opportunity is risky. Anything that is not a tangible asset like the real estate you cannot feel, touch, it's unusually and it's possible to actually underperform, and it's possible to lose the money. I want you to think about this. Run the numbers for yourself. 10 years, $60,000 per year, which is $5,000 a month. You're renting it, you live 10 years in this very nice apartment. $5,000 includes everything from internet, utility bills, whatever. But after 10 years, you can move. You spend $600,000 to live in this apartment, but you invest the remaining $400K. You invest the $400K and you wait these 10 years, and this $400,000, hopefully, the compounding year over year. And the numbers. Even if you run the simple equation with S&P 500, 7 to 10%, this year is around, the last year was around 16% on year over year, right? So you need to understand that compounding, even modest expectations, will still beat the appreciation of the apartment if you buy it today at $1 million. And a lot of people might say in the comments, well, it's not everything investment, this is my main residence, right? I would, be comfortable spending this money and probably losing more on the depreciation on the asset, on the stagnation of the market, on furnishing, holding cost, missed opportunity cost, not investing. A lot of people will be okay with this. Not if you realize that after 10 years, your cost will not be $1 million that you purchase price the property for, but you have to add annual property taxes, annual HOA fees, annual city tax, annual renovations, mortgage, insurance on the mortgage, interest on the mortgage, right? You need to adjust all these expenses for the same duration of 10 years. You maybe end up holding $1.8, $1.9 million out of pocket, but the property still is valued at $1 million. In 10 years, it could be a small, modest appreciation, probably, if you are lucky, $150,000, $200,000, which if you sell it for, it still will be eaten out by the broker who is selling the apartment for you on your behalf. So this is why I want you to learn the simple math. Stop listening to the voices. Just don't let anyone to follow you on ideas. Don't get me wrong, sometimes there are deals that are no-brainer. If you do not have an HOA fee, if you buy a real estate which an actual land underneath worth more than actual construction, if you can buy the property in state where there is a very little property tax, if you actually buy property in area which every single year has seen a substantial increase, this it's also very interesting aspect to look into. Remember, when you look at real estate, being residential, commercial, you need to understand the cost associated with. You have holding cost, how much it costs you to own it, to maintain it. And then you have to look at the maintenance, then you have to look at the opportunity cost, which is what else I could have done with this money versus putting them or locking them up with the actual property. And like I said, when you own it, on the way in, you pay a lot of money through the process, broker, dealers, middlemen, paperwork, etc. Right? On the way out, you still pay a lot of money. You pay the broker fees, closing costs sometimes depending on the state, paperwork, deeds, transfers, lawyers, notary, right? All these things, you're always charged. Like the transactions that are appearing, you never win. It's you barely can win unless you're a person who actually flips real estate, buys complete garbage, very bad condition in a very bad areas, buy something for 50k, fixing it for like 10, 15k and selling it for 100, making 25, 30, paying the taxes 5, 7k and being left with around 20k profits. And he has to flip 5 of these to make $10,000 a month or profit. I'm talking about actual profit after taxes and so on. But it's too much work for very little profit. This is why I'm leaving you with the idea that you can always do the simple math, something that everyone knows. You just do the segregation study, you understand all the different places where you have to spend money to keep the property, to acquire the property, to sell the property, and then when you draw the line, you could see, okay, this is the best case scenario and this is the worst case scenario. Best case, how much this property could appreciate in 10 years, and then it's easy. You can go on Zillow and find apartments or houses in your area, and Zillow has small chart, small graph. It shows you this house was listed for $150,000 more in 2008. Then after the 08 online financial crisis, the house was listed for $300,000 less. Then you can look how many years after that on the market the house didn't see any appreciation. It was completely flat price-wise. Not to mention a lot of people who bought right before the bubble bursts, they're still in red. Imagine you bought house 20 years ago and you're still on loss, you still overpaid. First of all, I want you to understand that every ownership of real estate is connected with major variable and fixed costs, okay? First of all, let's focus on the biggest expense that is usually fixed. You have HOA fees every single month and you have property taxes. On top of that, you got one-time big lump sum down payment. You have closing costs, you have sales tax, you have to pay the fee for the broker, then you have furnishing, then you have, usually if you live in the big city, you have another city tax which is on top of that, and other cities have also luxury real estate tax, which is for properties above certain threshold. You know that in 2025 over 100,000 different jobs completely shut down due to the AI. And I'm not talking about people getting fired, I'm talking about actual businesses shut down because the product or service is no longer in demand. No one is calling, placing orders because the AI is getting the job done faster and cheaper. What are these businesses? Well, as we have guessed, we're talking about graphic design, we're talking about video production, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about advertisements, we're talking about AI video generation replaced all the production lines. You no longer need an actual physical influencers to hold or promote your product. You no longer need somebody to draft a logo or create a special ad or commercial for your product or service. You no longer need anyone to actually come over and create a special strategy, run ads, create retargeting, collect keywords, run different numbers trying to look at the competitors. No, you can do all this using AI. So if no one actually placing order to your company, well, effectively you're out of business, right? Think about everyone who starts the business for the first time. They all do the same thing. They think that everyone could be their client. They want to reach everyone. They want to sell to everyone, and they want to sell cheap, right? Why the mindset of every new business owner is the same? Why 90% of these people fail? The main question is, which are the next businesses on the line this year that will most likely file for bankruptcy and completely disappear? Look, we're not just talking about the weakest players of the industry. We're talking about every player in the industry essentially is closing over 100,000 in some of these particular niches in 2025 because the niche is kind of disappearing, right? It's in a way in which we had the cars replacing the carriages, right? Completely erased anyone involved in carriages. The production of carriages in the business completely plummeted. Then we have the internet came in, completely erased all the radio and other stuff, sources of information. Then we got the TV, then we got the phone, etc. Right? This is how when something completely new comes along, it's not just taking all the weak hands and the weak business providers off the market. It takes the whole niche off the market, creates a completely new niche where it either going to be couple of new services merged together, offered as one service, which could be now, let's say you run an AI agency, you can offer video production, you can create content marketing, you can create a advertisement campaign, you can create the full blown house where people can order absolutely everything for promotion and design of their personal brand and their products and services that they're offering. It no longer has to go to 5 different companies to get the job done. The second option, if that's not going to happen, it will be extremely niched and specialized firms. Let's say somebody has a video generation tool that they built for themselves in-house. In this video generation tool, it's trained on data only on sport ads from the past. So basically there is a special niche down agency that only produces commercials, ads and marketing campaigns for only sporting goods or sport drinks or anything related to sport. This is very helpful because having your own personal chatbot trained on your own personal data, it gives you precise outputs, which, as you know, the better the outputs, the better the prompts. First of all, it's more cost efficient because you will use less tokens, which basically means that you have higher profit margin because everything that remains will be simply profit from you from the actual generation cost. These are the two parallels I see that will come on the surface. And if you look like honestly, who else most likely going to be replaced? Of course, will be content writing. Everyone who previously was ordered to write articles, maybe the people who are publishing these articles or putting the articles on the actual media. Let's say I want to have a front page of my business in Wall Street Journal. I no longer have to pay whatever amount it is for someone to write the article for me and then pay additional fee for the distribution. I may as well just pay somebody else, third party, completely summarized, very focused and niche down AI tool that has been fed the training data from the most successful engaging articles. So when you have, like I said, a personalized tool that is trained on the data that is very niched and the data that is only outperform all the metrics, you have essentially a very successful and highly objective product, which means that there's a very small chance for a flop on the particular output. This is what I see. If you want to go and try to replicate this, you need to start training your own models. You need to have separate accounts in different AI tools, and you have to start specializing them in particular niche. Let's say you have a tool only for medical questions, content. It could be blog posts. It could be a site for some home remedies. You can have another tool that is only for like home workout or something. The idea is that you don't want to mix up. Today everyone is mixed up. All the questions, all the information, different inputs, different outputs. So your own personal chatbot has no core value attached to it because it has many parts of information, questions and answers, but essentially has no real deep understanding of any of it. You know that every single day 2,500 different businesses file for bankruptcy in the United States, and another 2,000 are started. Before the virus situation, every single year they had over 900,000 businesses simply file for bankruptcy. And in 2025, majority of the businesses which were closing were retail locations, and the number jumped from 2,500 a day to 15,000 a day. This is why selling cheap, and this is why doing business is noob as a brand new business owner, following the old way of doing business, it's usually not gonna get you successful. It will not differentiate your business or your product. Selling cheap creates this idea that everyone could be your client, but if everyone is your client, you don't really have the actual clientele profile. You want to know exactly niche down who is your client, how much money they're making, where they're living, what kind of brands they're wearing, right? It's like you trying to sell a person who is buying Loro Piana a Zara jacket. Do you understand how ridiculous this will look like? The person will not going to be even interested. Or you're trying to sell a person who only drives a European cars, Mercedes, BMW, Audis. You try to sell this person, let's say, a Honda Civic or Subaru, right? It's simply not gonna get the deal done. This is why you wanna niche down the profile of your clients. Reverse engineering. You're not starting from the business, product or service, or starting with the clients. Who you can actually serve the best, who you know the best. Let's say I work on Wall Street for 6 years. I know Wall Street communities, people, employees, different levels, hierarchy. I know exactly who is wearing what, representing what kind of jewelries, what kind of rings, what kind of watches, what kind of suits. I know absolutely everything, what kind of shoes. Every single item that these people are wearing or possess represents something. This is why your biggest leverage in the competitive market that is pretty saturated, it's always to, first of all, niche down, know exactly who is your client, who you're talking to. This will help you to know how to price your items. This will help you to craft and design the product or services. This will help you create a very effective marketing campaign. You know exactly who to hire to promote your product or service.